Hello, my friends, and welcome all. Welcome all to episode 5 of GoldenEye SpeedLore. Tonight, we are going to focus on the level Trane Agent. Trane Agent is a truly insane level. Maybe the most skill-intensive level in the entire game. In the entire game of GoldenEye. A lot of history, and as you'll see, there's a lot of many records on this level, throughout its history, have been deemed to be the best record in the entire game. GoldenEye has 20 levels, 3 difficulties each, total of 60 stages. It's a lot to choose from. For some reason, Trane Agent has always had the very, very strongest, the most incredible, the best world records. So join me on this wonderful ride, going over the history of Trane Agent, the lore, the speed lore of the level, dating back a very, very long time, almost to the beginning of the game's release. So where do we begin? Let's begin by looking at the objectives on Trane Agent. Pretty straightforward. Objective A is to destroy the brake units. There are, I think, 6 of these in the train, and you'll immediately see what these are when we start watching some runs. Rescue Natalia. Pay attention to the wording. Rescue Natalia. Yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. And escape to safety. Escape to safety. Those are your 3 objectives. Pretty straightforward. Run through the train, do some stuff, and escape to safety. So, where should we begin? The first documented record we have for this level is 1 minute and 27 seconds by a man named Steven Zwartes, who was a very well-known GoldenEye player back in the late 90s and early 2000s. I'm probably going to talk about him next episode in depth, actually. But he was kind of known for not having many, if any, videos, which isn't, you can't really blame the guy for back in the early 2000s. It would be difficult to do. So the earliest video I could find of this level was Wouter Jansen, who achieved an untied world record in April 2001. April 2001. Now, an interesting thing about this Trane Agent is that the strategy never really changed. Never really changed much. You'll see that. You will see that. So let's watch the earliest documented run I could find. April 2001, Wouter Jansen, untitled record. So obviously, right off the bat, you can see the movement isn't like ideal. It's not the most perfect movement ever. But he's using some really good stuff, like blowing up boxes in order to progress through the level quickly, killing a lot of guards, which is really good. These little gray boxes are the brakes. And again, there's 6 of them you have to destroy to complete the objective. And if you don't destroy them, you'll notice at the end of the level here, it is Marc Rutzou quality. It's forgivable because it's 2001. So this is the last break objective they completed. These 2 guards leave this room with Ormov in it once you complete that objective. And this door does not open until you complete the break objective. So as far as we know, you have to, it's an objective, but in order to get to this stage in the level, you have to complete the breaks. There's no way around it. And then the locks. This level comes down to the locks so often, and Wouter does them, fairly cleanly, considering it's 2001, runs out of the stage, and completes the level in 1 minute and 14 seconds. Yeah, you can barely see that. Barely. You could see it. 1:14. So that's the oldest record that I was able to find on this level. 1:14. Okay. So there's something we actually have to talk about on this level before we progress. A lot of people always ask when they first start playing GoldenEye, or when they first start watching GoldenEye, why are you playing the Japanese version? Why are you playing the English version? Is this PAL? Is this NTSC? What's the difference? And Trane is maybe the level where there is the biggest difference. So a few notable differences between NTSC and PAL, and of course NTSC being the North American and Japanese version, PAL being European and Australian. So one difference, for example, that's interesting that I just recently found out, I kind of knew it existed, but I never kind of put it together in this way, is that on NTSC, if you throw like 50 remote mines or 100 remote mines, what happens is some of them won't blow up. Some of them just disappear. Some of them just completely just are removed from the game. On PAL, though, if you throw 100 remote mines, they go off in chains. It's like 20 will go off, then another 20 will go off, then another 20, then another 20. You know what I'm saying? It's not exactly 20, for example, in that situation, but that's how it works. So the explosions, which create a lot of lag, are sort of chained differently on PAL than they are on NTSC. And now Trane is a level where there's a lot of explosions. They're always going off. So the way the game deals with that can affect this. Another difference, a good thing to look at is Henrik's response to this question here. And I'll pull it up in full in a second. But basically, Henrik states that the timer on PAL runs at 50 hertz. And so what happens, generally speaking, is that in some places where they didn't like remedy it, it'll take 1.2 times longer to get an item. So say on NTSC, imagine it takes 30 frames to get something. That's 1 second on NTSC. If they didn't alter that on PAL, 30 frames on PAL, which would be 1 second on NTSC, is actually 1.2 seconds. You see? And so that's where things can get a little bit slowed down. Now, this is the key. We believe the reason PAL is slower in general, and it's not slower by the whole second. It's not slower by the whole, it's just like minutely slower. The frame rate has been improved to be more stable. PAL will tend to stay in the middle of the frequency spectrum. It'll handle lag better than NTSC. That is key, because Trane is so laggy. It'll never reach the same peaks as NTSC. So if the level lags a lot, play PAL if it doesn't play NTSC. That's pretty key. That's pretty huge to understand. Now, another interesting thing, and it's actually very key to Trane specifically, is the way the watch laser fires. So, like, this is actually huge. The laser on PAL, if you're holding Z, it'll fire 2 frames, it'll do the laser. Zoom, zoom. One ammo. The 3rd frame, it won't. So the laser on PAL is 2 on, 1 off. On NTSC, to account for the differences in frames per second and hertz, the laser is 2 on, 2 off. So if you're holding Z on NTSC, the laser is only going 50% of the time. On PAL, it's going 2/3 of the time, 67% of the time. So if you extrapolate to say 3 seconds, 3 seconds on PAL is 75 frames. And the laser will be firing 50 of those 75 frames. On NTSC, 3 seconds is 90 frames. And the laser will only be firing 45 of 90 frames. So 50 out of 75 or 45 out of 90. That's a massive difference when you think about it. How much more the laser's firing and how more quickly the laser's firing. And on a level where you have to run through and kill a bunch of guards or blow up brakes and break off all of the locks, substantial. That's really, really substantial. So at the end of the day, PAL is advantaged on Trane compared to NTSC. And you'll see throughout this video, most of the records were set by Europeans or Australians. Or someone else who lives in a PAL region. The North Americans generally weren't the ones driving this level. So, let's watch another video. This one is really what we call vintage Marc Rutzou vision. I don't even know if it starts on, doesn't even look like it starts at the beginning of the run. But this is by a gentleman named Tim Greneby. He improved Wouter's world record. This was in March 2002. let's give this video a watch. And you can see it's like, okay, he's kind of smoothly making his way through the train, breaking some locks, breaking some brakes. We always call them like locks, so we're so used to talking about breaking locks or alarms. Train is the only level we have to break brakes, so we always like misspeak when we're talking about the train brakes. There you go, another, reasonable moving through the train. Something you might, if you played this game growing up, you might already think about is like, man, why is Tim Greneby from Sweden here not using the RCP-90? It's kind of well known that if one of the boxes in the beginning of the level on Agent contains an RCP-90, on Secret Agent it contains a DD-44, which is pretty useless, on Double Agent it contains nothing. But you're probably wondering, why isn't he using the RCP-90? And the reason is that even back in 2001, 2002, it was just known that it was slower. You just didn't do it. It was just a slower thing to do. The watch laser fires so quickly that there's no reason at all to use the RCP-90. It takes, a second or two to get it out of the box, and it's not as fast running through the train with it. So here's Tim Greneby's Train Agent 113, the Untitled record, beating Wouter's. Can barely see it there. Look at that amazing Marc Rutzou vision quality. So, I found some interesting things. This is looking up Tim Greneby through the past, and it's actually pretty cool. I'll get this up a little bit bigger. So, Isa Smith, who you might know is still in the Elite, still playing today, still streaming. This is a post from November 2000. Tim Greneby's picture online. It's of Tim Greneby doing a 6.1 meter long jump. And I mean, read the replies like, oh, my face looks weird. It's in the middle of a triple jump. Tim. Steven Schwartes. What in Pino? In Pino Bal van de Bonnes Westplank. All sorts of crazy stuff. Here's another good thread. Matthijs ten Ham, I mentioned him in the facility SpeedLore. He received Tim Greneby's proof tape. Literally, you would record your runs on a VCR and mail these to the one guy on your continent who had a capture card. And they would create the runs and upload them for you. I mean, how did you even upload videos in the year 2000? This is why YouTube was created in, was it 05, I think, or 06? Because the creators, want to share a video of the famous Janet Jackson Super Bowl incident, realize there's no efficient way to share a video online, and yeah, like YouTube was birthed from that. So this is 4 or 5 years before that. How on earth were we sharing videos back then? Truly an incredible feat that only members of the Elite and a few others were able to do. But I mean, it's kind of interesting because Matthijs says he received the tape. These are these times on it. And Matthijs is a proof moderator. He's verifying Tim's proof here. I enjoyed watching. He's a superb player. He is 100% valid. No doubt about that. It would be funny to, go back in time and show these guys some spliced, indetectable runs. But hey, 100% valid. Thank you, Tim, for the tape and your strats. I forgot to say I love, LUV, your handwriting. My handwriting, Tim? What about it? I wrote it at 1:30 in a night with a half-broken pen. I wrote pretty bad. Thanks anyway. Just kidding. What? Matthijs? I thought you liked his handwriting. Anyways, this goes on, but it's just like hilarious because these are 16-year-old dudes on the internet in the year 2001, and it's incredible to me that it's just incredible to think about. There are people probably watching this video right now where this post is older than them, and the idea that well, it's a sketchy conversation, but it was from 2001, so you can probably forgive it. It's just unbelievable to think that a human being can be born and things happened on the internet before they were born. I'm in my late 20s, so there's not too many forum posts from the mid 80s per se. But to think that they're pretty much almost adults and there's forum posts that still exist today that are older than them just blows my mind. And really funny to see how we all interact. And this is why I value the Elite forums so strongly. Most other speedrun communities do not have this, and so they don't have as accessible these parts of history, you know? So it's like, man, this is just... I love having a forum and making things kind of permanent and around forever. One more thing I'll show is this post from Supa Odin, a guy named Glenn Stevens. He made the top 10 eventually in 2006. He was a very strong GoldenEye player. 2006, 2008, somewhere in that era, he was a really good player. He posted Tim Greneby's pictures. And these are true. These are real as well. You'll see. So he says, you know, Tim Greneby was a legend. Here's his famous long jump picture. That's cool. It no longer exists on the other link because it was linked to Geocities, which no longer is there. But there's his long jump picture. 6 meters, 10 centimeters. Insane. Here he is in 2002. Good looking guy, Tim Greneby. Here he is in 06. Here he is in 08. Guy looks younger as time goes on. There he is in 2012, 2016, 17, and 18. So, again, a funny meme topic thread someone made. This is why the Elite forums are truly just wonderful. Just a great place. So there's our little Tim Greneby diatribe there. Pretty cool stuff, for sure. But alas, Tim Greneby's record of 113 did not last forever. Did not last as long as his charming good looks and his never-aging body. That's for sure. And so the world record was eventually beaten. This is a run from August 2002 by a gentleman by the name of Karl Jobst. And Karl is another very, very compelling GoldenEye player who we haven't really talked much about. I'm going to get into him, probably after this run, because he's one of the most influential members of the community, I would say. And this was performed in August 2002, and this was actually one of Karl's last GoldenEye records, or what seemed like it would have been his last GoldenEye record. And it just, you can see things, the movement's improved, taking out the brakes, killing a lot of guards. I'm not sure if at the time it was known for sure that killing lots of guards reduced lag because it gave the game less objects to render. But Karl does a good job of this, and it was later known that was exactly what happens. The more guards you kill on trane, and other levels like Silo as well, facility to some extent, the less objects you have to render, and the better, the faster your run will be. The less frames get dropped, less inputs get dropped, the cleaner the run is. And there was Karl Jobst, August 2002, executing a very, very smooth run that ended up being 1 minute and 11 seconds. It's a pretty interesting number for Karl as well. So, Karl Jobst, if you don't know, if some of you were watching my stream last night and would know that he was streaming last night, going for Dam 52, so he's returned to the community. Karl had a massive falling out in the Elite right around 02. He was 16 years old at the time. And I asked him to elaborate about it, and this is what he said. It's actually really, really insightful. And if you've seen maybe my, speedrunning in a nutshell rant, or seen other people talk about just speedrunning being degenerate or being lonely or depressing, or a lot of depressed people speedrunning, this will speak to that. So Karl, I asked him, and he messaged me graciously on Discord. He told me this. Here's the thing about speedrunning in 2001, 2002. It was a super dark and lonely time to be a runner back then. There was no YouTube, no Twitch. To think back on it today, it's so much better. Karl says, back in 2000, 2002, I was 14 to 16 years old, and my parents made me feel bad for being a nerd and playing a lot of Nintendo. So what's happened is, I loved playing GoldenEye Perfect Dark and played it for a couple of years. In 02, I was by far the best player. He actually was. He was. Getting on tides in GoldenEye. He was Perfect Dark champion as well. Says it wasn't even close. I completely smashed the game. Completely smashed it. But there was zero follow-up. No Twitch to get viewers with. To witness your world records. No content to produce. no one to share your passion with. So Karl says in real life he was still a socially retarded teenage nerd. That's his quote. And he had no similar minds to share the experience with. These days you can get a sick record, you can post it on Twitter, on Reddit, on YouTube, you can jump into Discord to talk about it. These cool things didn't exist. And Karl just started to, and like I've seen many people, myself included, go through this, is you just start to blame all of your real life problems. Oh, I have no friends. Oh, nobody likes me. Oh, I'm just sitting in my basement speedrunning. You're blaming all of it on speedrunning. And so Karl lashed out against the elite. You guys are the cause of all my pain and suffering. You guys suck. You guys are awful. If it weren't for you guys in your community, I wouldn't be doing this, wasting my time. I could be out at partying, talking to women, all this kind of stuff. These are age-old sort of trials that men have to go through. And being successful, learning how to grow as a person. Karl left the elite for all intents and purposes. Now, Karl did continue to say he would play GoldenEye Perfect Dark. He was the champion of Perfect Dark at the time, too. So that was a big deal of him. You know, he actually, like, rage quit. He retired. I'm done. I hate this. I'm done. He would continue to play only when, around the holiday season or whatever, he would often meet up with a few other eliters, usually Greg Lewis, a great Funky Buddha was his name on Perfect Dark. Really great player. He got some insane records on Deep Sea and a couple other levels. And Matt Cook is like a strategy innovator. He had an amazing Untied on Extraction Special Agent 131 that lasted so long. It was a really amazing Untied record. So when Karl would hang out with these guys for a weekend when he was on holidays, he would play. A record he got this way in 04 was War 25, an amazing record. Kind of like a Streets 111 or a Dan 52. I mean, not quite as remarkable, but at the time it was. And I might talk about that if I start getting to Perfect Dark videos in the future. Suffice to say, Karl was done. He didn't want to play GoldenEye or Perfect Dark anymore. This 111 was one of his last Untides. I'll leave that there for now. Wouter Jansen was really one of the best players who ever played GoldenEye. Very soon after Karl's, I mean, not that soon. This was in May 2003. So it was about a few months after Karl had gotten this 111. Wouter first got 110 in January 03, and then he got 108. That's a pretty big, quick gain. Cutting 1 second and 3, and then he cut one more second. He got 107 in May 2003, and I couldn't find any vids of the 108 or 110. But that it's not. You'll see how he improved to 107 if you watch very closely, guys. Wouter Jansen 107 from May 2003. There's one really big thing he does differently. Oh. Pay close attention, boys. Some of you saw it. He didn't kill Ormov. He did not kill Ormov. He just went straight into the room and started doing the locks. So, what was eventually discovered, and this is in '03, this is a pretty big speedrun innovation for all the way back then, is that when you enter the room with Ormov and Trevelyan and Xenia and Natalia, you're given like 30 seconds or more to actually shoot Ormov. And it was discovered that if you are able to do the locks and escape before, like, the time is up, you just, like, since Natalia doesn't die, it just, the game thinks you completed the objective. Now, like, right about, if you look at the level, like, okay. So, like, there's sort of a line of level, like, right around here. If you go beyond this line, they'll kill Natalia. But if you stay behind it, you can stay for, like, 30 or 40 seconds and they won't kill Natalia. So if you are able to do the locks quick enough and escape the train, the mission completes. And that's a really huge deal. And there is even more interesting things to see with these locks on this level coming up in a little bit. But Wouter discovered this, and that was a huge process to go from 111, Karl's 111, for example, to 107. And 107 was achieved in May 2003 and stood untied for over 2 years? Maybe over 3? Over 2 years, it stood untied. That's a long time, back then. Wouter's 107 was considered one of the best world records in the game at the time, if not the best. Like, you can see how much time, like, watch how much time Karl loses by, like, charging in to kill Ormov and then coming back. Like, that's 2 or 3 seconds right there. And Wouter's run is the first to show how that can just be skipped, Just, no Ormov is going to run in and do the locks. Huge time save. So, now, many, many times over the years, like much time went by after Wouter got 107. And I just spoke about Karl and sort of set up this huge sort of storyline there. But the thing with Karl is that, like, not enough happened on the level to really, like, expand this story. So Karl comes up again, believe it or not. This man who had sort of really been distraught, really left the elite in a rage. It seemed like he was never coming back. It was around Christmas season in 2006, 2005, 2006. And I guess Karl had been hanging out with his buddies, Greg Lewis and Matt Cook. And so he turned on GoldenEye Perfect Dark again. And he quickly achieved a lot of times. A lot of times. And one of the first times of those that he achieved was this next one. And now you have to keep in mind, it's early 06. We did not, like, 107 was untied for 2.5 years. It was a truly incredible time. Boss couldn't get it. A lot of people couldn't get it. Clemens and Ace had started playing. I started playing. Ilu started playing. Dan Cervone had been playing. No one could tie Wouter's 107. I'd been a member of the community for about half a year. I'd never been exposed to Karl Jobst. So this was my first exposure to him. Like I said, he was going through an emotional time growing up, finding his place as a young man in the world. Only played GoldenEye socially at this point in Perfect Dark. I remember actually during this sort of a session of him playing in the Christmas season 2005-2006, one of the most remarkable things he did was, I'm going to pull this in here. So, see this. The world record topic, I've mentioned before, is truly like a sacred place in the Elite community. Sacred. And Karl almost disgraced it. He went into the Perfect Dark world record topic, and he said this. G5 Perfect Agent 54, ... I hope. And everyone's like, I hope? Does this mean he's back? Does this mean he's playing again? He hopes? And the next day he edited to say G5 54 Perfect Agent. He got the time. He basically posted ahead of time saying, I'm going to get this record. Played all day and got it. And that's the sign of someone who really is becoming a man, someone who's sticking to their goals and achieving them. And that was just the beginning, because Karl also got several records. He got Archive 16. He untied Archives 55 on Secret Agent and Double Agent. And Karl Jobst also got this run. And this run uses some music. I've spoken a little bit before about how classic it is for Untitled Records to use really interesting music during their runs. He was an emotional man. It was 2006. I will have to mute this for the YouTube audience, but if you're here live watching, you'll get to hear. This is Hawthorne Heights, Ohio is for Lovers, set to Karl Jobst's Trane Agent 106 Untitled record in January 2006. Enjoy. .106, 2.5 years of Wouter's 107. No one tied it. Karl skipped to 106 on a rampage of returning to GoldenEye Perfect Dark. Really incredible, really just an incredible run and time. And for a lot of people in the community, like me and Clemens, and I know Luke said this run is what inspired him to start playing GoldenEye. And Luke is now the second ranked player in the game. It was shocking to see, it's 06, we're seeing someone who we thought was gone 4 years ago. That's so long in internet time, especially back then. So it was amazing to see. That kind of trend continues today. A lot of old people who've been retired for a long time come back to their games, do great work, and it's amazing to see. Unfortunately for Karl, the glory wouldn't last long. Perfect Ace, Rayan Isran, tied this 106 a month later in February. Ace also untied Secret Agent, or so we thought. And I just want to show you Ace's Secret Agent run, just to show you, you see he's doing a lot of things differently here. This run is actually magnificent, and would still hold up today. But there's something that I gotta show you from this, show you how the locks and how the end of the level works. So, in the olden days on Trane's Secret Agent Double Agent, like you'll see in this run, you had to kill Ormov and then wait inside the train for Natalia to complete her hacking objectives. She's quite the elite hacker and all. So he runs, kills Ormov. Now he has time to kill. He has 30 seconds before he can leave the level. So he just kills those guards afterwards, slowly takes out the locks, and waits. This obviously wouldn't continue. Something changed. And Ace was 10 years old at this point. Ace was 10. 10 and a half. Because half years matter when you're that young. Unbelievable, dude. And see, the locks don't matter. It was kind of nice, the locks didn't matter. He was getting amazing untied records at the age of 10. He was truly a child prodigy. Objective C will complete here, or B, and he'll leave the train. He kind of times it as well, he knows. C completed, he left the train, bingo, bango. Because the thing is, if you leave the train any earlier than that, Natalia will like, you see how Natalia said she's coming, James? You know, haha, okay, we're 12. 141, insane run. He leaves the train, I'm coming, James. If we go back and watch Wouter's 114, and watch the end where he kills Ormov, he does the locks at such a speed, where Natalia says, I'm coming, James. So they weren't too fast. But in Karl's 111, if we watch these locks are faster. They're much faster. And you'll see an effect of this is actually very, very interesting, and was something that someone else used to really create an innovative time save on this level. So in Karl's 111, Natalia doesn't say I'm coming. What was found of this was that if you can do the locks quickly enough, Natalia, it's like not within Natalia's window to leave the train. So she stays on the train completing her hacking objectives. Henrik Norgren discovered this in February 2006 and used this to his advantage to get many untitled records. And this does come back to Train Agent momentarily, but you'll see, he breaks the lock super, super quick and gets out of the train, and Natalia doesn't come, and she remains inside doing her hacking objective on the computer. And so what this saves is that you no longer have to wait inside the train for her to complete the objective. You can wait at the end of the train and jump out of bounds or into the despawn zone right at the moment she completes the objective. Yeah, Asher, you're exactly right. Henrik uses our song in this video. So he's right here at the end of the train. He knows when the objective is going to complete, around 29 seconds on the timer, runs off, the level fades out, and the objective completes, and he gets an untied record. Bingo. 131. And that was discovered because he was looking at old train agent runs where they killed Ormov, and he realized Natalia doesn't leave the train. So imagine stumbling upon a 10-second... I mean, I think it's a 13-second time save. But imagine, this was one of the last major time save discoveries in the game. Truly incredible. Henrik discovered, all the credit to him. Now, what was interesting about this, really interesting, was sort of how this all played out in the world record topic. As you see here. So Ace was going for a bunch of times. I mean, it's really funny to see our accounts from 06 still working. Here's Ace, you know, saying stuff, but he's got a modern signature, and I have my avatar and whatnot. We're playing levels. Ace tied Karl's 106. You can see that right here. I got runway 38. Cool. Back in the day. Ace got Train Secret Agent on 141 on February 7th. Henrik, this is February 8th, he drops this. These posts were deleted because people thought he was trolling. Henrik was able, looking at these old train agent runs, to discover this new strategy where you could wait outside the train, and what it would save is it saves the distance running down the train. You know, on Ace's run, he has to wait inside the train for Natalia's objective to complete, and then leave the train, and then run. On Henrik's, you can just wait at the end. And so all this distance of running down the train is saved, and it's about 13 seconds total. So that's a lot of time, and that's a lot of... it's the biggest, most game-breaking discovery we've seen since. There's really not been anything that saves 10 plus seconds in GoldenEye discovered since. So what happened was Henrik was one of the first guys to take advantage of this, of the new strategy, on Secret and 00 Agent, and he got untitled records there. But Henrik knew he had to complete the untied sweep. You know, an untied sweep in GoldenEye is when you have all of the untieds on Agent, Secret Agent, and 00 Agent. And, yeah, that's quite the accomplishment. Actually, only 7 people have done it since 2005. which is kind of what we consider like the modern-ish era of GoldenEye. That's pretty impressive, you know, to only have 7 people get an untied sweep, and Henrik was one of them because of this. Henrik saw his opening. He grinded hard, and he was able to achieve an untied on Trane Agent. Henrik as well. Again, this was the era where people put songs in their Untitled records. Henrik's song choice. I don't even know what it was. It's like a Jimmy Eat World song. Again, YouTube, you're going to be missing out. I'm sorry. Here you go. Henrik Nordgren, Trane Agent, 105 Untitled record. That was achieved on March 1st, 2006. He actually didn't have the double agent untied at the time, so he had to get that. He got it about 2 weeks later on March 16th. But Henrik became one of very few people who's held an untied sweep in GoldenEye, especially in the modern era. It's literally Henrik, and Clemens, Boss, Mark, Ace, Ilu, and myself. I didn't want to spoil because I was actually going to make a video about that, and maybe I still will. But really only the best of the best players have ever gotten an untied sweep. The untied on all 3 difficulties, and Henrik's one of them because of that run, and because of his discovery. Finding the new strategy that saved 10+ seconds on Trane, Secret and Double Agent. So really amazing stuff there. Okay, so we've gone quite far into the history now. We really have. There's a few guys in particular we still haven't mentioned, and one of them is a gentleman by the name of Bryan Bosshardt. Bryan is really really something. Bryan is good. Here's what the rankings looked like on December 29, 2004. Let's take a glance. Bryan Bosshardt, Bryan Bosshardt, Bryan Bosshardt, Bryan Bosshardt. Where don't you see a BB? There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Trane Agent. There's 4. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Bryan Bosshardt literally, at that point in time, in the end of 2004, had the world record on 51 of the 60 levels. Like, that shouldn't even be logical, really, it's unbelievable. But he did it. And Trane Agent was one of the levels he didn't have the world record on, And he wanted to change that. And Boss only had NTSC at the time. He knew he was disadvantaged. He knew he was, at wit's end. But Boss also knew he wanted to at least have every single record at one point in his career. And so Boss saw that Trane was beginning to get really insane. He knew he had to do it. Boss said, I gotta get the record, gotta get 105 right now. I can't live my life never having the trane agent world record at one point in my life. Boss did this. Now, what you'll notice there is Boss killing guards in the first room. It was well known at this point that the more guards you kill, the less lag the run has. And so it's better to kill more guards. And Boss is doing a really mighty job at that. And again, remember at the beginning of this episode, I spoke about how NTSC's disadvantaged on this level. The laser flare is a lot slower. Leggy levels generally are worse on NTSC. But Boss knew if he waited any longer to play Trane Agent, he would never have the world record on it. I think when I just showed you the rankings in late 04, he actually had 108. He was 1 second off of Wouter's record. And he kind of kicked himself in the head for not getting 107 back then. But he knew. He knew he had to do something. He got this run. A really, really strong run on NTSC for 2007. And just wonderful. Just finally executed 105 Trane Agent. He tied Henrik's run. Boss would then go on, guys, to at least hold every single GoldenEye record once in his life. Which is just insane. Like, there's no record Boss never had. Look at this. He had the record on damn Double Agent 6 times, you know? Like, I think Control's Secret Agent. He untied Control Agent 10 times. But, interestingly, he only ever got one record on Trane Agent, Jungle Secret Agent, and Jungle Double Agent only once. And Aztec 00, he only had the record once. Only 4 levels. Like, that's how good Boss was. Only 4 levels did he ever only get the record on once. The guy is just an absolute madman, and that run was his redemption on Trane Agent for sure. So, where are we now? Chronologically speaking, we're in February 07. Oh baby, February 07. Where do I even begin? February 07 was the single most insane time in GoldenEye history. It was my best month of playing GoldenEye ever. I had gotten 3 untied records in February 07. And this was a time when we actually did this kind of fun community thing called Player of the Month. And everyone would, the administrators, the proof moderators, would pick who the best Player of the Month was. I got 3 untieds. I had never been Player of the Month yet. And I was like, I'm going to get it. Ace got 11 untieds that month. Just before then, Ace, who was 10 years old and insane at the game, and getting insane records, only had PAL. A couple of guys, Karathorn and Red Bull, who were Perfect Dark players from the Netherlands, they played online poker semi-casually, had a fun time, and they made a couple $100. And they're like, we're going to send Ace an NTSC console, and they did. And Ace received this NTSC console. He's too young to buy it. He's 10. 11. When Ace got his NTSC console and NTSC GoldenEye Perfect Dark, in December 06, he got a world record every single day. I'm not even joking. You can look it up. Every single day, 31 days in a row, he got a world record of some kind in GoldenEye Perfect Dark. Trane came around. Ace saw Boss tie 105. Ace was like, let's do this. Ace got 104 literally 3 days after Boss got it. Henrik actually tied the 104 the same day. So Ace is like, well then, I'll just get another record. Ace got this run. Again, he's 11. Like, look. Compare this to the runs we saw earlier. Just look at this. That's an interesting question, Forp, and I will actually talk a little bit about that towards the end of this episode. Like, look at these locks, dude. What? Bye-bye. Like, okay. Look where that message popped up. You know, the other runs that Trevelyan message was popping up like inside the train. Those locks were like 5 seconds faster than any others. But no, Ace. Yeah, so that was February 7. On February 19, 12 days later, Ace got this run. Oh, Aces... Okay. I should clarify that this isn't NTSC, this is PAL. PAL is the advantage system. Ace was sent an NTSC console, which motivated him to play on other levels. But once he sort of ran out of NTSC levels to play, he made his way back to Trane, where he just did crazy nonsense on PAL, such as this. So that 103 and this run is PAL. But the fact of the matter is, when he got NTSC, he just went insane for months. Yeah. Exactly. Muskrat Catcher. Our entire army of speedrunners got destroyed by an 11-year-old. Look at this time, by the way. And so Train Agent once again had the best world record in GoldenEye. The strongest world record in GoldenEye, the most untouchable record in GoldenEye. Henrik had a 104, Boss had a 105, everyone was 106 or slower. 11-year-old Ace. February 19, 2007. Like, historically, if you have to talk about the best world records at any given time in the game, this might be number one. 101 still stands up to this day, by the way. I'm going to take a look how many people have 101 or better right now, 10 years later. It's not many. It's like, the guy is just... A 3-second time is 10. 9 people have 101 or better. So, yeah, see you later, dude. Well, he actually he got 103. He got 104, 103, and then 101. The 101 would stay untied for over 3 years. Over 3 years. What can I say? How do I even set up this next run? That was 2007. 2008 went by, 9 went by. I still have not mentioned our old pal David Clemens, Sir David Clemens. Again, maybe the next best GoldenEye player in maybe the best. Clemens only ever had NTSC, and again, I mentioned how PAL saves time earlier. The explosions work differently; they're a little bit more reserved on PAL. They kind of PAL. The key is the watch laser fires faster. The watch laser literally fires 17% faster. You get 2 frames firing, 1 frame off on PAL. On NTSC, it's 2 on, 2 off. And that's a massive difference with the watch laser speed in this game. Clemens's PB was 103. Clemens's PB was 103. Clemens was like, I gotta go for Train. I gotta play Train Agent, man. Let's grind it out. Let's see what I can do. Clemens was hoping maybe he could inch closer to get 102, maybe. Maybe in his wildest dreams, Clemens could get 101. Maybe. Again, Clemens is playing NTSC, the disadvantaged console, 3.5 years after Ace got 101. On July 25th, 2010, Clemens got this run. There's no words to describe this run, honestly. Watch carefully as well. Blows that up. Like, just... How... Like, what? Even if Clemens were to, you know, get 102 on NTSC, it would have been a remarkable feat, given how much faster to watch laser fires on PAL. Oh, just like buttered. Oh, look at these locks. Clemens is going counterclockwise as well. There's sort of, it's literally personal preference, but there's a lot of discussion on what's faster. And what was that, dude? Look at Trev's message. Barely comes up before the end of the level. Again, his PB was 103. Ace's untied for 3.5 years was 101. This was Clemens' run. Clemens reported being in complete, almost medical shock when he saw the end screen. This shouldn't have been possible on NTSC. It shouldn't have been possible. This run, like, not only, like, obviously is it faster, this run might still be the best run in the history of GoldenEye. It really might. 1 minute has never been repeated on NTSC English. The Japanese version is a little bit different. For some reason, the Japanese acts like PAL in some regards. So 1 minute has been eventually replicated on Japanese. But in July 2010, get this run in English, which has never been repeated. It shouldn't have been possible. This was just beyond remarkable. To this day, it might still be Clemens' best run in GoldenEye history. It really might be. The problem is this. These beautiful, incredible things in life, sometimes they do last, like Aces 101, lasts a long time. Sometimes they don't. And another young, upstart, European player had joined the elite by this time. You may know him. A gentleman by the name of Marc Rutzou. And Marc Rutzou tied the 1 minute on PAL, the better system, for trane. Shortly thereafter, in December 2010. 1 minute was tied. It was a DCMR time. Here he comes, boys. Marc Rutzou didn't stop there. He took the most beautiful run by David Clemens ever, and he did this to it. He did this nasty, dirty thing to it. Yeah, isn't it crazy that Marc Rutzou actually had, like, captured quality at one point and then, like, threw it out? Even crazier is that, like, obviously some people are referencing this in chat if you don't know, because Mark's damn records are in terrible quality, and they were achieved in the same month as this, January 2011. So, like, what happened? Nobody knows. Like, what was, like... What were those locks, dude? Marc Rutzou, Train Agent, 59 seconds, new Untitled record, January 2011. Ugh. Mark didn't leave it there. And nobody will ever know what happened to his capture card In between January 2011, January 2nd, 2011, and late January 2011, in November 17, 2011, this happened. Again, he had 59, Clemens had 1 minute, Ace had 101, everyone else was much behind. We are now back in the Marc Rutzou Vision era. It's not as bad somehow as some of his other stuff, but yeah. Certainly not his finest work. Like look at, and like I said earlier, the strategy barely changed. From Wouter's 107, the strategy really is no different. It's just all about movement and the locks and reducing lag by killing guards. And how can a human being compete with this? When Marc makes these, ridiculous posts about how he's ascended to a higher sentient being while us mortals are in our animal mind, he sounds like a crazy person. Then you watch this run, and it really makes you wonder if he's onto something. It really does. Train Agent 58 seconds, Marc Rutzou, November 2011. 2-second untied on a 1-minute stage. This was immediately considered the best world record in the game. Again. Now, the thing with Marc Rutzou is, some of you might have known him or heard about him from maybe Ryan Lockwood's Streets 112 video. Obviously as being this great, idolic GoldenEye player who's amazing, and someone to really be happy about tying the record on. Oh yeah, so Mr. Mouse, it is an LCD. From what I understand, he played on a CRT, and he played it back on a LCD in order to record it and get a cleaner image than some of his previous videos. And some of those previous videos you might know him by, the damn ones that I spoke about in my Untied World Record, my longest standing Untied World Record video, or some of his other stuff from the top 5 most degenerate moments video. So Marc Rutzou is just... A lot of you maybe have seen him at his worst. You've seen all these crazy posts of him online, these crazy rants talking about the ultimate truth, talking about how everyone else is these scum, these rodents, these worms, and Marc is enlightened and wonderful. And the thing is, it's easy to blame him. It's easy to say you shouldn't act like that. You shouldn't put people down. You shouldn't say dumb things. But then you realize, every man inside of them has this ongoing battle between, good and evil. No one's... Well, not no one, but most people aren't inherently good or evil. There's sort of this balance or this imbalance, And certainly, sometimes I can be a complete dick, and I can say mean things to viewers, or I can make crazy posts on the Elite, and there are plenty of them there for sure. But Marc's are just... The thing with Marc is, his evil wins way too often. This terrible... The yin and yang are out of balance. For example, when Marc recently, in 2015, returned to the Elite forums, his board name was Darth Vader. So that kind of shows what he portrays himself as, He sees himself as this villainous character. And his hex code, if you look in the Elite rankings, it's actually kind of interesting. Let's see if I can pull them up quickly here. So every person has a color assigned to them, randomly when they sign up. Now, in more recent times, people have been able to change those colors that are given to them. And Marc changed his color to be hex code number 666666. So yeah, talk about, being an edgelord. But that's Marc Rutzou for you, right? So there's some moments in Marc's life and in his GoldenEye career of absolute brilliance, like this 58. And I think it's only fair to portray him as someone who does have this imbalance of good and evil. And he's not just this crazy lunatic who makes terrible quality videos and doesn't do his dishes. You know, there is another side to Marc, and these incredible GoldenEye records are certainly part of that side. And I mean, some of you have been watching right now. Some of you have been watching my recent Damn Double Agent streams, and you know, that's another one of his remaining untitled records. Yet he's in here giving me useful advice, telling me how he got 155, explaining what's behind it. So he's not all that bad of a guy, you know, when it comes down to it. He does some crazy things, some despicable things, but he's not that bad of a guy. So anyways, this 58, maybe the best run in GoldenEye history, was achieved in November 2011. And it stood untied, and it stood untied, and it stood untied. Ace, the other top PAL player, got this run in June 2013. And again, Ace is running right to the lock, right to the break there. He's breaking that box, breaking boxes, killing guards, doing a really, really solid job. Just trying to at least keep Marc within reach. And now Ace obviously had the 101, was his record back in 07. Amazing run given the times, but it had been improved by Marc Rutzou. And here we are in 2013, really strong run. This was actually Ace's first sort of bout with GoldenEye in the modern Twitch era. He was streaming a little bit. I don't think he streamed this run though, but this is just a completely fantastic run. Really, really strong and solid. He missed that one lock he missed. But he got there smoothly out of the trane, and this is a good run. Ace is at this point like 17 or 18. Fades out, and it is 59 seconds. So Ace had finally achieved 59. Really strong run, but not quite the world record. So now we're at a time when Marc has 58, Ace is 59, and Clemens has 1 minute. So Marc is feeling the heat a little bit. You know, he's like, oh. I think if someone were to ask who are the best 3 GoldenEye players in the world at the current moment, or like in this era certainly, it would have been Marc, Clemens, and Ace. Clemens has NTSC, 1 minute. Ace, PAL, 59. Marc, PAL, 58. It wasn't until 2 years after then that a lot of people started playing Trane. You know, we know right now, because you guys have seen me play, Damn 00155 is untied by Marc Rutzou. I've been grinding for it. Some others have been starting to play it. And it's maybe going to fall. Maybe. But Marc experienced what's happening now with Damn 00 2 years ago with his Trane 58, his other amazing untitled record, or one of his other amazing untitled records. And some people were playing Trane. A heavy dose of people were grinding Trane, trying to take down 58. Henrik actually got 59. Henrik, remember from 105 and the new strategy, got got 59 seconds. Very shortly after that, Alex Anderson, whose PB was 102 and who was going for 101, got this. This run is crazy. You guys know Alex Anderson, or Base Boost, from the GDQ runs. I think he ran GoldenEye 4 times in a row. He is playing on PAL. He has a working PAL console and television. A little bit of a bump there. Oh, that's a really good run. You know, the settings, it looks a little bit dark because it's very hard to get a good PAL picture onto an NTSC capture card. But he's grinding hard on Trane. Yeah, it's pretty good GIF, pretty good trance music in the background there, back boost. Really good guards kills there. And he goes clockwise for the locks. Personal preference, just nailing all these locks. Again, his PB is 102, he's going for 101.
Oh shit.
This might get loud.
This is a run. Come on!
Can barely see it fade out.
Come on! Come on! fucking shit! 59! Yes! Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Oh my god, that's unfucking believable. I can't believe that just happened. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Holy shit. Oh my god, dude.
Insane. Like, Alex is a really strong player. He's gotten 3 career Untieds, a really good player. But to come that close to 58 was just complete madness. Complete madness. And Mark was getting worried, because you know, there's a couple errors in this run. Like, one of the doors up here, he kind of messes up. That door. That's a tiny little error. Maybe that could have been 58, you know. Yeah, so Mark is on edge now. Mark is worried. Again, Henrik got 59 a couple days earlier. Alex got 59. Marc Rutzou would not stand for this. His record of 58 seconds, maybe the best run in Elite history. He was able to stream, and he got this run. And again, why is his quality good here? And okay, Mark is recognizing that in order to beat 58 seconds, he has to kill even more guards for leg. So he tries to kill that guard and that guard without losing time. Dude, I mean, I never watched his streams. He actually has like a good layout and like a good looking stream now. I mean, this is 2 years ago, but it's shocking. And this is when Mark was really going crazy with the Luke Sklar's downvoting videos and all that kind of stuff. But he was going for, you know, look right up here, goal 57. He's going for 57. Oh my god, look at these. A little bit of a stutter on locks there, a slight stutter. Oh, what? The Danish downvote, that's right, Motoko. A 58 duplication. That was actually his third 58. That was his third 58. A really, really remarkable run. But Mark had different goals in mind. That was May 11th. He kept playing. 3 days later, boys. I can't say anything. Just watch. Kills the guard, reducing leg. Kills the guard. Barely squeezes through. Insane break. Kills the guard. Kills the guard. Kills the guard somehow. Kills the guards. Look at that break! Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, look at these locks. Look at these, oh my good lord. What? Truly almost makes me sick. Mark's balance of good and evil playing out once again. Truly an incredible run. He got 59. He got 58. People started edging closer and closer and closer. over years. And Marc said, no. No. See you later. I'm getting 57. And he did. Marc Rutzou has held the untied world record on this level since November 9th, 2011. No one else has ever gotten... No one's held the record since. Only Marc Rutzou. No, you can't get boosted at the end. The guards do not hit you on Agent. What else can be said? Like, really, what else can be said? Oh, this can be said. Marc didn't stop there. He wasn't satisfied. He kept streaming for more runs. He said, I want to get 56. Kills both the guards in the first room again. Like, look how fast he's going. Honestly, he could have got a little bit luckier there with the guard placement. The black suited guards placement is random. He could have killed a couple more guards if they were in the right spot and gotten even less lag. But, like... It was a 57-second duplication. He didn't get 56 there. Can you read here? It says, in Cozy to Vinyl. That was a great attempt. Yeah, that puts it lightly. That puts it lightly. Here's what Luke... This was done in 2015. Luke Scalars, another PAL player from Australia, eventually got 59 seconds as his PB, 2 seconds off the record, but it's second place. No one has 58. In 2016, Luke got 59. Here's what he has to say about it. A question we then ask, my friends, is Marc Rutzou the best player in GoldenEye history? Is he? Clearly he has some insane untitled records, you know. Trane Agent 57, still untied to this day. Damn 00 and 55, still untied to this day from 2011. Damn Secret Agent 116, just recently tied by Ace. So a lot of people would believe Marc's times are truly amazing, and they are. Is Marc the best player in GoldenEye history? And I think to end this episode, we have to at least take a look and see what we can see. Here's what we call the total tally page. These are all of the world records throughout history. Wouter Jansen has the most, 279, 171 on tides. But Wouter played in sort of the middle of like the brand new era and the current era. He played like 01, 02, 03, 04. And he racked up on tides. Boss, Ace, Clemens, Karl, Ilu, me, Marc, all played in the modern era. And you can see quickly, Boss, Ace, and Clemens are way up here. Hundreds of records, dozens of untides. Marc is down here. 81 records, 17 untides. I'm beating him. I have 85 records, 17 untides. He's 10th on the total tally of all time. Ilu is well ahead. Karl. Sterling, who's an ancient player, is well ahead. And the thing is, Marc came later to the elite than me or Ilu or Ace or Clemens. But he still played in an era where there's lots of untides to have. And I'm sure, actually, if you looked at total untides since, like, 2010, I don't have those stats available right now, Ace would still be beating him. And so, the only conclusion I can draw here is Marc definitively is not the greatest player in GoldenEye history. It's, you know, you can make a case for Wouter, you can make a case for Boss, Ace, or Clemens. Marc's really damn good, though. And the one thing that Marc has going for him ahead of everyone else, and I truly believe this, is that Marc has the best world records. There's simply nobody who comes close. His trane 57 is just untouchable, you know? It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if you look here on the world rankings, actually, you know, Marc is ranked 5th, okay? He's missing 100 points because he doesn't have a video for Frigate Agent. So that would put him into pretty much 3rd place. Close to 2nd. Pretty close to 1st. Really, there's no other way to end or sum up this SpeedLore with Marc is a true master at trane. There we stand today. Here's how the rankings stand today. 57 seconds, a 2-second untied. A 2-second untied. 4 people 59. Clemens' 1 minute still exists. Wotus 1 minute. A couple guys with 101. A couple guys with 103. I'm all the way down here with 106, by the way, with Phil and Jono. Will 57 ever happen? The only thing I have to say about 57 or 56 is that quite clearly Marc Rutzou, the second someone tries to go after Marc Rutzou's 57, I think he'll get 56. And Marc is sort of coming back to the game. He might be really close to returning. He clearly wants 56. He's gotten a couple of 57s. Like, isn't it insane to think Marc has 3 58s, 2 57s, no one else has better than 59? What more can be said about Marc Rutzou at this point? Now, before we leave, I want to show you one more certain run. This is a video from known, funny 15-year-old Sam Haycock. This is him play on emulator for a laugh. The video's name is Trane. My friends, before we leave tonight, just listen to this one plea. This here is why we do not care what the emulator or TAS or tool-assisted record is. We don't care. I just spent an hour and a half talking about how amazing Marc Rutzou is on Trane Agent and how he's a step ahead of the entire world with his 57-second world record. Okay? Samuel Haycock, a pretty decent player, but nothing, you know, no superstar. This is him playing on emulator. Yeah, this looks like exactly like how Trane plays. Yeah. Okay, yeah, move over, Marc Rutzou. This is just magnificent. I love tool-assisted speedruns. I love emulators. This is just wonderful. Wow. How accurate is this?
Got it.
No, I mean, Sam Haycock's a great player, but he's no Marc Rutzou. I mean, emulator makes him Marc Rutzou, that's for sure.
Fuck you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm James Bond.
He sure is James Bond. $52, and he wasn't even recording a few runs earlier when he got 46. Please. Never ask about what's the max, what's TAS time, what's the emulator time. Because that's not representative at all of what's possible in the game. Thank you. So, my friends, we've come to the end of another SpeedLore episode. It was amazing, guys. Thank you for watching episode 5, Trane Agent, and witnessing Marc's mastery, the true legend of Marc Rutzou. You can probably see just how insane he is at this video game. And he's not really been too active lately, and there's rumblings he might reappear soon. So summer 2017, we could be in for a real treat. We're now halfway through this SpeedLore series. I want to do 10 episodes this year. We're now number 5. We're halfway through. The reception, you guys, has been amazing, honestly. Years ago, I mean, think of the early years ago, we never would have thought that tens of thousands of people would watch this and enjoy hearing about the stories that have gone through the Elite over the years. The players, like, imagine being a player back then. Would you think a Tim Greneby? Would you think in your wildest dreams we'd still be telling these stories, 15 years later? Probably not. So it's really incredible to see the response to the SpeedLore series, and I'm really enjoying making these videos for you guys. Now, I've been making one a month. We're on month 5. The thing is, there's 12 months in the year, and I was going to do 10 this year. So there's obviously some, leeway. Summertime, I'm in Canada. It's super nice. I don't want to, spend, all day making SpeedLore videos inside. So I'm going to sort of spread out one episode over the next 2 months. The thing is, it kind of doesn't even work that way because I'm going to do a 3-part episode. I'm going to do Aztec. And Aztec, there's no one difficulty I can isolate. I'm going to do the entirety of Aztec, Agent, Secret Agent, Double Agent, and I'm going to segment it into time blocks. Probably from, early days to 05, 05 to 2010, and 2010 to present or so. So yeah, look forward to that. Probably I'll have part 1 in late June and another 2 parts in July. But yeah, let me know what level you want to see in August and so on and so forth. The only thing I've set is that I'll do Streets for episode 10 in November, December, and Aztec episode 6, obviously. So episodes 7, 8, and 9, I still don't know. Let me know what level you want to see. And yeah, I'll see if it makes it for a good story. It was this year, it was really my goal to make a lot more of this kind of content, these episodes, these, all sorts of videos and stream more. And my goal actually early was to hit 10K YouTube subscribers this year. And, I mean, my latest video, the top 5 mysterious things in GoldenEye, has just blown up. And it looks like I'll hit 10K maybe by the end of the month. So thank you guys for supporting me. It's been really, really amazing to see. It's been really just, what can I say? You guys have been so kind. Supporting your streams and videos and everything has been amazing. So thank you for joining me on this ride. Who knows where it'll take us next. Stay true, my friends. Stay true. You're all lovely. And I will see you in the next stream or video.